Right then, back on the bench with the Behemoth Bass again. If you remember last time, I had a problem with the headstock that I cut it too short. And so when we put the machine heads in, they were too long. The back plates on the machine heads were too long because I didn't measure it properly. Well, I thought I did. I made a template with paper and card and it fitted nicely, and then obviously I've cut it a couple of mil too short, and now I had to find a solution. And I thought about getting yet another neck 3 maybe, or maybe find some other tuners, which I did. I found these, which are brilliant because when it comes to overhanging, they don't overhang at all. They fit just nicely. But the problem with these guys is the original holes are too big and they wobble around. So I'd either need to fill in these holes with dowel, re-drill them to the right size of these machine heads, or do something else. And that's when I had an idea. As you can see, I've started drawing with pencil on here where the hole is. I'm thinking of nibbling this out like the end of an Ibanez headstock, or an Ibanez, however you want to say it, to make a sort of quirky bite out of the headstock, and then put the other machine head hole about here, so you've got two aside, offset, and then I can go back to the original style tuners that I was going to use. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how that goes. Right then, so this was the problem originally, was that was going to overhang, and my idea was to cut another hole in here as mentioned, but that's not going to work either because there's not enough room. And I've tried using the other machine heads, the smaller ones, which as mentioned go in the holes okay, but they wobble around a lot. Let's just have a look. There they are. They wobble around a lot and they don't actually cover the hole. So do I spend ages filling these, re-drilling them, putting these machine heads in? No, because the other thing I've done is the gap here and the gap here is about 2 millimeters difference, and what that means is when the machine heads are in the holes, they're not even. This side you can see the collar, and that side you can't, so it looks a bit skew. It looks awful. So neck number 3, I think. I can't believe how much this is costing me. I've literally made so many minuscule mistakes. I mean, if you're a millimeter out, it's almost throw the guitar away and start again. I don't know what to do. Okay, possible solution to the problem. Got some dowel, going to chop some ends off, fill the holes in the headstock, fill them, sand them back, then black grit dye and true oil over the top so they hide a bit, and then hopefully big washers on the machine heads to hide the dowel once I've re-drilled them. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's certainly worth a try. So let's do it. And all the holes are filled with dowel, and then this dark filler over the top, which I'll sand back, and then we'll rit dye the top and see what happens. In the meantime, I've managed to lose one of the holes I didn't need by doing this Ibanez style, where it's sort of an extreme Ibanez horn on it, but I think it'll be all right. Let's see. So these have dried and I've sanded them, and it's very smooth and very nice. So I'm hoping that I can drill them out now. And I have measured the fourth hole here, and I've measured it more times than I care to think about. It should be exactly 3 centimeters apart, 3 centimeters apart, 2 centimeters from the center of these to the edge of the headstock. This is my last chance saloon, really, so I need to get this right. And then once we've done that, we can think about how we're going to finish it to cover up what residue is left around the edge of the machine head holes. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Oh, amazing. Perfect. So I just need to drill out these other ones tomorrow once the PVA has dried properly overnight. And then hopefully most of this will be covered up by the machine head and the washer. If not, it shouldn't matter too much, because I've decided, as mentioned, I think I'm going to hit this with rit dye, and then I've sanded it back, so I'm going to true oil over the top of the rit dye so it's a darker headstock to sort of match the body, and then that will hide hopefully the little imperfections a bit more. But that has gone from disaster to a possible thumbs up. What a day. I am pretty well pleased with that. That is my headstock. There we go. It's a bit abstract, but I kind of like that because it's not standard or copy of anything particular. Maybe a little bit Ibanez with this bite out of it, but I kind of think that's cool. What a rescue. Okay, it's rit dye time. This stuff, I'm going to put it on the headstock, and I've taped off around the edge, so I just want to do the top to get rid of some of those filler rings you can see on there, and then we'll sand it back, and then we'll try and hit it with a bit of colour and see what happens. But in the meantime, let's get the rit dye on the go. Alright, so the rit dye has been sanded off with 40 grit, then 80 grit, then 180, then 240, and then we've put some Little Fair's red mahogany water base stain on top to give it a bit of a mahogany look, and then we've topped it off with gunstock oil, true oil, which is a Dan Thompson favourite. And hopefully, once I've done a few more coats, we can put the machine heads back on and I'll have a sort of headstock that sort of matches the body and is a bit more in keeping. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so once again my time working on this base has come to a halt for a month or two. And obviously most of it this weekend was spent working on the headstock, which, as you can see, I've tried to match the colour to the colour of the body, but that needs to be a bit darker really. So I'm not sure if when I come back I'm going to sand this all off and just have it as a maple style finish, same colour as this, or try and darken it down to match the body colour. I'm not entirely sure yet, but one thing I am going to do is I've ordered some bigger M12 washers to go around here so they cover up the filler from the dowel, which you can just see around the edge. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I think that headstock I'm pretty happy with. I just need to work out the colour and get some bigger washers. But for now, that's all we can do for a couple of months. So, until next time.